Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Welcome back. Like always, guys, if you are new to the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out with the stream and the channel. If you haven't done already, check out the Telegram channel. Leave a link to that in the description and also the chat as well. I share updates there, trades. I watch this, videos that I create as well. Keep you in the loop, so make sure you go and check that out if you haven't done it already. And if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets also at the top of the chat there, so feel free to check them out if you are indeed looking for a broker. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Welcome back. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. So yeah, I took a loss on pound CAD yesterday. Price rallied straight through my stop loss with absolutely no remorse yesterday. I was looking for a push to the downside off this level. I'm still looking to get short on pound CAD. It's still holding that structure, but yeah, I was short here. Price just rallied straight through about 2-3 hours after I entered and took my stop loss for a loss there. So unfortunate with pound CAD, but it's coming back to another good area where I'm still looking for that next lower high. And if we're looking at the structure here, the market is still obeying that kind of quite corrective, but it does have some good momentum. Bearish structure with that lower high, well, creating higher highs, high up there, low. Now we create a lower high, lower low. So now again, looking for a lower high coming back into the consolidation around here. So I will be keeping an eye on pound CAD, looking for a second attempt to get back involved with this one. Again, the risk to reward is a bit more generous up here. So if you can take a win up here, you know, make back the loss plus a lot more. And yeah, probably we'll be looking for a pushback down to the lows for pound CAD, because we're still testing that higher time frame level on the weekly chart. So there's still a lot of higher time frame confluence with this one. You know, with these successive points of support, now turn resistance, you know, for consistent lower highs, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, if you can hold this area, I do think there's a lot of room to the downside for pound CAD. But of course, we're not looking to push it all the way down. It's just, you know, knowing where we are in the higher time frames and taking that into account and building a bigger picture we can look into. So yeah, pound CAD coming to another area of interest, 1.67, 1.676. We'll be looking for shift in momentum here, because right now, this morning we had some consolidation. The market broke to the upside with a lot of momentum there. So I need to see what price does coming into this area. Do we shift back bearish, or is the market actually looking to break higher? Because obviously if it does break higher, obviously I'll back away from pound CAD and just see what price wants to do there, because we could be looking at a bullish continuation, fairly impulsive move to the upside here. But I will be looking to see what we can get at this area. If I can get a good shift in momentum, I will be looking to see if we can get back involved again. Right now, having quite a bearish reaction there. So we'll see how that candle closes. Still got 48 minutes before that candle closes. So a lot of time left before that hourly candle closes. Could pull back and close bullish. But we will see. So yeah, pound CAD is still on the watch list. Morning guys, what is up? Hope you're all doing good. Morning Anus, forgot to say hello. Morning Anus, hope you're doing good. Zesty, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Brian, what is up? Zesty, we take a look at gold. Sure thing, we'll take a look at gold as well. What's the move on GJ? EHAB, we'll take a look. It's looking interesting right about now. Buys to 169. So yeah, pound yen's been awfully bullish. I'm not really looking to get involved anymore. If I do, it probably will be for next week buys. But yeah, we'll take a look at pound yen. Let me go through gold first, and then we'll take a look at pound yen. So yeah, gold's coming to an interesting area. Not quite at the trend line here, but it is coming to an area where we could be looking to form a lower high and roll over. We've been speaking about gold yesterday, and I said after we had this sharp move to the downside and the market was kind of consolidating, I was a little bit, it's a bit neutral. You know, price might see some upside, it might roll over, and then we did get the rollover to the downside, just about breaking through these lows with that candle closure. So if the market can hold on to this structure here, I'm looking for a third lower high for a third drive to the downside, back down to some of these areas for gold. Now I'm still overall bullish on gold, still looking for a push back to the all-time highs, but we may see you know, a short-term bearish trend to eventually go back bullish again. So I'm looking to see if we can get some downside for this one. Price action is a little bit messy here. Not really seeing much in it right now for gold, but maybe in the lower time frames like the 15-minute, 30-minute, there might be some better structure there. I suppose if you can actually start breaking out the consolidation here, you know, that could actually be some nice sales to the downside. This could just be a big fake out there on the 15 for price to potentially start pushing down like that. So that could be some nice trades following a break back below the consolidation to the underside. So yeah, gold looks quite nice on the lower time frames. On the 4H hourly, I do favor the downside as well, as long as we can hold on to this 2K area. We are coming to some key resistance here as well. If I point out, you know, I was looking to buy from this resistance turn support this week. Never got the entry signal and price broke through. Now it's flipped as resistance again. So resistance twice, kind of fluctuating between above the level. Ooh, did not mean to hit the keyboard. And now we're holding them to as resistance again there. So if this is a successful rejection, you know, I would be expecting price to roll back over. And yeah, you can start looking at these as your targets, 1960-ish. Obviously, you've got the lows here, would be a very reasonable target to have as well. But I would expect price to go a little bit further than that to some of these areas, and maybe even further as well, before maybe we push bullish later on. So yeah, that's kind of my bias, my analysis going forward on gold. Looking at some short-term downside for this one and rejecting a pretty decent area. Let me know what you're looking at on gold. Okay, I'll move on to pound yen after. Buys back to 169. We'll take a look. Pound USD as well. We'll take a look as well. Money stacks was up. Looks to be forming a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, we'll go see what's going on with pound. I entered at 2002.27t and waiting for downside. Okay, where's that? 2002.70. Okay, that's right. That's right at the high there. Is that? Did you enter over here? Or did you mistype something there? Because on this broker, Rwanda, price hasn't actually hit 2002. That would be up there. So maybe you've entered from yesterday. Yeah, price is at a nice level here. Like I said, it's at the 2K area. We've got the trend line there. It hasn't quite come to the trend line, but it's coming to that vicinity of the trend line. And the market's forming those lower highs there as well. So the structure looks good. We're seeing some good momentum on the left as well, which is, another, good, good market condition that we want to see if you're looking for sells. You want to see a lot of momentum and then looking for the pullbacks and follow up momentum in the direction. Simply what we had here: impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. We'll be expecting another impulse back down to at least the lows. So yeah, gold's looking pretty good. It's shifting momentum quite well, looking quite bearish. Is dollar quite strong right now, or gold's having a mind of its own right now? Let's go take a look at DXY. Yeah, DXY is a little bit bullish, nothing crazy though. Has DXY, it did double top into that area there and did see some rejection, not quite into the trend line, which was the area I was talking about yesterday. I was looking to see if we can come back into the trend line area. Didn't quite do that, but we did hit the resistance and rejected it. So we might be coming back up again into that same area, either to sell off or spike through, or push through, sorry. So yeah, DXY is still coming to interesting areas. It did reject it, but it hasn't seen anything too crazy. And overall, DXY in the lower time frames is still printing these higher lows here. So it does look favorable for some more upside for the DXY. Push back up into the same resistance, and we see what we get there again. Because it is a very critical area that if DXY starts breaking through, maybe we are going to see a lot more momentum for the dollar. So we'll be keeping an eye out there for DXY. Okay, so pound USD I'll take a look at next. And then actually no, pound yen then pound USD after. Free boy, what is up? I hope you're doing good, Saki. Okay, I'll call you Saki then. When you start closed group on Telegram or Discord, I'm not too sure. Probably when I sort out my mentorship, that's probably when I'll start looking at maybe doing that. But yeah, it would have to be after that, because at the moment I'm already focused on creating a closed Discord channel right now. But probably after that, maybe I can look into making something like that. But yeah, I'll let you know, keep you guys updated. Anyway, so I'm going to take a look at pound yen, and then I'll take a look at pound USD. So pound yen, yeah, pound yen I'm not really too interested in. The pullback was looking good yesterday, but now price has just been consolidating there. I do not like the price action anymore. We had a really nice sharp breakout yesterday. I said it would be nice if we can get a retest of 167 and then look for the continuation. However, didn't quite see that. The market flirted with it, just about tapped into the wick high there, so that would be like a lower time frame level. And the market rebounded off that. Nice push to the upside, but now it's just kind of moving sideways just above the area. So I think 166,800, 167, 166,800 we'll call it, this level here. It's still looking the best bet for pound yen for continuation. This is the area I was looking to see if we can get into yesterday. Didn't quite do that, and now we're kind of just moving sideways just above that area. So pound yen, the way I see it, the market's still quite bullish. Is it testing the daily area? I'm not too sure if it is. Not quite. So I still do see more upside for pound yen. I still do see more upside for pound yen back to 168,500. Then maybe from there we can see a bigger retracement. But I would be careful with pound yen, because we are coming to some high But coming to some important daily areas, and you probably don't want to be looking to push trades too far in this area. Nonetheless, we still do have very clean bullish structure here. The market's still creating higher highs and higher lows, high, low, high, low, high. So we'll be looking at a new low forming for another push back to the upside. But from current price, I'm not seeing anything there. Anything there that is that I would want to get involved with. So it would have to push to 166.800 for me to even consider any opportunities. And if it breaks through, we might get a deeper retracement. So yeah, pound yen keep it at 166.800, but in terms of the direction and the bias, I will be expecting more upside for pound yen back to 168.500. Pound USD we'll take a look at next. USD strength is coming in. It looks like gold seems to be selling off right now. I mean, yeah, we potentially could be seeing that, but again, everything is it can change in an instant. We might be seeing dollar strength coming in right now, but very, very quickly that can change. And we got news today, don't we? Let me go double check quickly. But yeah, we got some news today, and depending on price reacts to the news, things could change pretty quickly. So yeah, we got some not jobless. Yeah, we do have some jobless claims coming out later today at 1:30. So yeah, it depends how price reacts with that. Dollar could look a little bit strong right now. Price reacts negatively to the news, and things could turn on the table. Turn on its head. That's what I want to say. Turn on its head very, very quickly. But yeah, you're right. It does look like we are seeing some dollar strength. I mean, I would favor gold to see some downside anyway, just based on the price action. Yeah, the trend for DXY is still down, which we cannot ignore. So even though we might be seeing some upside, we could get stuck around here and actually see another sell-off again. So don't get too overly confident on the DXY strength just yet until we start breaking through some significant areas. Then we could expect a lot more upside. But right now it might just be short term. We'll have to see. Anyway, let me go take a look at pound USD. So someone said they're looking at head and shoulder. Okay, I see what you're talking about there. Not the cleanest one in the world, but got the left, the head, and then possibly the right shoulder. So yeah, it does make sense. Again, all a head and shoulder is price just forming a high, and then a lower high. And the lows we connect are essentially called the neckline. So it's not very, it's not like a crazy, spectacle that happens. It's just price, reversing with just focusing on the highs of the market. So if we can get the break of the neckline, this is what I've been talking about since last week. If we can get the break of this support level here, see some lows past that, then corrections, I will be looking for pushback down, because pound USD is still flirting with this very big daily level here. It looks to be holding as resistance right now. As you can see, resistance once, twice, and the market was kind of fluctuating, breaking above, breaking below, breaking above, breaking below. So catch people on the wrong side of the market multiple times, whether you're buying or selling. But if you can get a nice sharp breakout like that, see some good momentum that we saw early on over here, see that again over here, looking for the correction and the continuation is something that I would be very, very interested in for pound USD. So that's still my kind of top setup for pound USD. If you can break through the low here at 1.235, get the correction after that and the continuation, things look really, really good for pound USD. Need to stay patient though, because potentially you could be looking at some sells here, trying to anticipate the right shoulder forming. I just don't like the price action. We haven't really broken any structure yet. I know potentially could be a lower high there. I know we're reacting off that daily zone, but as you can see, the market has been fluctuating and not really respecting that daily zone much. So personally for me, I'll be waiting for a break of the low and then the correction. There could be some trades there anticipating the right shoulder, but for me, I've got a lot more probability and a better quality setup down here than I do up there. So that's what I'll be waiting for personally. But at the same time, if the market decides it wants to break to the upside and continue further, I will be looking for the correction to go up again. So the way I'm looking at pound USD is very, very neutral. If we start breaking through the lows, then I will be looking for sells, and vice versa. If we start breaking through the highs, I will be looking for buys shortly after, but I'm not looking to do too much there for pound. But it does look like we are failing to get the breakout. So I would favor shorts for pound USD, because if we are going to get the breakout, we should have done it one of these 2 times here. Normally price is going to break once and break a second time and still come back underneath. It's a sign that the market is actually failing to break out, most likely will roll over. So I do favor pound USD to eventually reject this 1.245 level and eventually come back down. But again, to actually trade it and actually stick some positions on, this is the setup I'll be looking for before getting involved. But yeah, I do see the head and shoulder. It does look decent. Okay, where am I? Money stat, yeah, good morning. Good morning to you too. Entry at 167, 370 pound yen. Okay, you buying or selling that? Did you say it earlier? Okay, it buys to 169, so let me see where that is. Okay, so 167, did you say? 167, 370. 167, 370. Okay, that's around here-ish. Okay, so yeah, it's not bad, but my area of confluence is slightly underneath 166, 800. I'm not really seeing much there. Again, maybe you're looking at the low time frames. I'm specifically looking at the 4H and the hourly, and this is where I'm seeing value in the market. I'm not really seeing much up there, kind of just deeming that consolidation, no man's land. But of course, if you've got something in place down the low time frames, it's fit your criteria, then obviously, see the trade through there. But personally, for me, 166, 800 looks like a solid place to buy from. And yeah, if it would have the targets in similar area to you, I think you said 169, 168, 500 is where I'm looking at the market coming into, which is this resistance here, taking it from that body there to the entirety of the wicks. This is a big zone there. We could see price come anywhere within that. Could just test it slightly and roll over. Could break through slightly and roll over. But yeah, this is the big zone that I'm looking at on the daily chart for us to get to. So I do favor more upside. I'm agreeing with your bias and your direction. But personally for me, I would be waiting for price to come a little bit lower than that before buying. Price having a hard time picking direction right now for pound yen. Kind of consolidating. So maybe you might dip low to go higher. But we will have to see. We will see. But yeah, 168, 800 is definitely a nice area of confidence. So if it does fail, keep an eye on that level there, because that could be a nice place to look for some re-entries. Sorry, man. No, okay, 1993.360. Okay, so that's your stop loss. Okay, so where's 1993.60? 1990. Okay, so that's around here-ish. Okay, so yeah, it's not a bad place to get involved. It's not a bad place. Like I said, the market is respecting this this resistance here, so it looks decent for gold. And I do favor a push back down to the lows here, and then eventually back down to 1960 as well. As long as we can hold this area. If you start breaking through this, that's when I'll change my bias altogether. We might be looking at a continuation higher. But yeah, pound, I keep saying pound yen. Gold's throwing some good wicks into the resistance there, so I do like the price action on the 4H. Hourly's still really nothing much there yet, but if you see some momentum starting to come back in, I do think we could probably see some good sells. I really like the impulsive leg to the downside on the last bearish leg there, heavy move. So I do think we can see some good corrections there and continuations back to the lows. So yeah, I do like the setup. It's a little bit premature on the hourly, but you probably enter maybe in the 30 or the 50 minute. I'm not too sure, to be fair. But it's not a bad area, and I do favor more downside for gold. So yeah, I do agree with the setup. It does look pretty good. Daily candle closure is a little bit off, though, I have to say. With that big wick there, it's a little bit alarming. But nonetheless, 4H is where I'm focusing on, so I would expect more downside. But if we do see that break above, yeah, price might actually just be on its next bullish run. So either which way, to be fair, even if the shorts fail, the buys still look good above this area, and the risk reward still looks great as well. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Still take advantage of the buys if they do present themselves later on. Anyway, USD CAD, okay, we'll take a look as well. Money stacks fundamentals point towards more bullish dollar. Apparently the Fed isn't done hiking interest rates, expecting a lot of dollar strength in the short term. Oh, okay, I thought they would be looking to stop pushing interest rates up. I did not know that, to be fair. But again, whatever happens, I'm just going to be looking at the price action. If the price action is giving me bullish structure, if we see a break of structure, then yeah, we'll be looking at buys. But at the moment for the DXY, the technicals still point down with this bearish structure here. But if the fundamentals, act accordingly, how you're saying it would do, and price starts breaking structure to the upside, starts seeing some higher highs and some impulsive moves, then yeah, we'll be looking to buy that back up and follow that momentum to the upside. So when the fundamentals start printing on the charts and start showing buys on the charts, that's when I'll look to participate in some buys. But right now, we're still seeing that consistent bearish trend. Same with the daily chart as well, still heading to the downside. So need to see some strong bullish moves. Right now we are seeing some bullish momentum, but I'm just kind of looking at this kind of structure here, and the market could just basically fluctuate between these areas. Maybe get the breakout eventually, or it might just break lower. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, right now I'm just neutral on the dollar, waiting for something to happen before I look to get involved. But yeah, USD CAD, we'll take a look. Ryan, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Are you into cars? What is your ride? I actually don't drive, to be fair. I just take trains in London. Driving is very, very hectic in London. So trains are the best option, and trains are not bad in London either. But yeah, I'm not really into cars, I would say. When I was younger, I was a little bit, but I don't know, that kind of phased out. So yeah, I'm not really into cars, to be fair. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had money for a Lamborghini, I would be getting a Lamborghini. Trust me. But yeah, I'm not really into cars like that. Good morning, Omar. Hope you're doing good. Gold will take a look. I mean, gold's been requested a lot. I'll go through some of the pairs and I'll go through gold later on because I've just gone through gold a few times. Euro pound, we'll take a look. Yeah, I keep failing at saying your name. I'm just calling Dissy, because you seem like a regular now. So yeah, we're allowed nicknames. Dance with the Wolves, oil, okay, we'll take a look. Going after the imbalance gap, yeah, oil looks like it's heading down to fill that gap there. So yeah, any retracement on that could be some nice shorts following that bearish momentum. We'll take a look a bit more detail though. Emmy, what is up? Could you please take a look at USJPY? Sure, take a look. Investorology, what is up? Hope you're doing good. See if JPY is good place for short at the moment or a little bit higher. What do you think? Okay, let me get through some of these pairs. Okay, so USD CAD will go through first. Euro pound, oil, and USD JPY and CHF JPY too. Bunch of pairs to go through. So yeah, USD CAD has seen some nice momentum. Didn't come back and give me that second test I was looking for, unfortunately. So yeah, if USD CAD can start to see some downside and start giving me some higher lows, then I'll look to start getting involved some buys for USD CAD. But essentially, I'm looking at these higher lows here. We've got one there, second one there, third one. Well, actually, we've got many higher lows leading up to this price action. But I'm looking at price. I'm looking at price getting another higher low around here for another push back up again. And I'm looking at this is my area of interest for the target. But right now we're coming to resistance, and actually we could be forming a lower high because the full H structure is still quite bearish. You broke structure to the downside, form a lower high, lower low. We could actually be looking at rolling back over again, and then maybe the buys come into fruition a little bit later on. So USD CAD is actually coming to some nice place, maybe for some short-term sells. I'm not really bearish on USD CAD, so it's not really a setup I would look for personally. But coming back into this area here, you can see this was kind of our last big climatic move to the upside. Then since then, the market rolled to the downside. So this is a strong, important area of support. Turn resistance around 1.35. So we might be seeing some sells around here. But personally, I'm waiting for some higher lows to be printing or some equal lows down here. And then I'm looking for buys back to the upside for USD CAD, as long as we maintain that structure on the daily chart. So yeah, I'm actually bullish, but there's no entry for me, and price is rising. like crazy there. So I'm looking at some retracements, some downside first, and then probably some buys back up again later on. So we'll keep an eye out on USD CAD, but nothing right now. If you're looking at sells, then keep an eye on around 1.35. I do think there's some nice sells there, and we could probably see a big move back down to these lows there. And that's when I start looking for buys again. But at the moment, this is in bearish territory. We've got a strong bearish momentum in the market, so I do favor some downside at least for USD CAD there on the lower time frames. So yeah, hopefully that made sense there for USD CAD. What pair did I say I was going to take a look at next? Euro Pound, Oil, USD JPY, and CJ JPY. We'll take a look next. Tyrese, hope you're doing good. Any takes on Pound Yen? Will record highs be possible? Record highs will have to be a very, very big move to the upside, because Pound Yen is nowhere near record highs. You just need to take a look at the higher time frames. If you go to the monthly, all the way up there is potentially record highs, and this is just as far the data goes back, which is 1976. So yeah, we're nowhere near record highs, as you can see. So the market's going to make a move like that. The world has gone down the toilet, because that's a crazy move. But unless you're talking about the highs up here, then yeah, there's a good possibility the market could see a push back to 171. And that's really the setup I'm looking at myself. But yeah, still definitely bullish on Pound Yen, expecting more upside. I think most yen pairs I'm still quite bullish on. I'll take a look at USD JPY and CHF JPY as well, but first let me go take a look at oil and Euro Pound. So yeah, Euro Pound's a nice downside this week. It's a little bit corrective now, could be seeing another push back up again. Again, higher time frames for Euro Pound are still quite bullish despite the very corrective price action, as you can see with these higher lows there. But yeah, Euro Pound just very corrective, and since I missed that trade at the start of the week, I'm not really interested in trading again. It's just very corrective, and quite frankly, this whole price action is basically consolidation. There is a slight downtrend to it, which is why I favor the sells here, and another reason why we got a good reaction there to the downside. But it's not really inviting to get back involved right now for Euro Pound. So personally, for me, if we can get a snap to the upside, and start to generate a bit. Oh, that was a big stutter. A bit of a bullish trend there, a lot of Bs. Then we could probably look at some continuation to the upside, back to the high. So that would interest me for Euro Pound, but I need to see some momentum for this one. It's very corrective. It's just throwing wicks all over the place. It's just not attractive price action to trade. I want price to commit to direction and just give me a decent trend to trade. But right now, yeah, the price action is awful. So if you can start breaking through the highs there at 0.88700, then yeah, I'll be expecting price to continue, and then we can start looking at some buys above that. But anywhere in here, I'm not really a big fan, and quite frankly, I'm not trying to predict the constant fluctuations of price. As you can see, the market's gone up, down, difficult, very difficult to try and predict every fluctuation, and quite frankly, a waste of time. Just wait for the best opportunities, and for me, if you can start printing some bullish momentum and get a bullish trend going, break some structure, then yeah, I'll be much more keen to take those buys, and we've got some good highs we can tick off as well. But yeah, that's the best I can see for Euro Pound. Okay, so oil I'll take a look at next, then we'll go through some yen pairs. Where is oil? So yeah, oil rolling over to the downside. So it looks like oil just faked out a lot of people, because I know a lot of people would be looking for that gap fill ever since that gap fill happened. When is it? 2 weeks ago? A week ago? That's actually 3rd of April. It's actually quite a while ago. So yeah, ever since that gap happened, most traders know that gaps fill. So most traders are looking to short that and take advantage of that gap fill. And it looks like the market is essentially doing that now. So they were correct, but a lot of people would be trading around here, and this move here looks like it's just taken out a lot of people, and now it's seeing the move to the downside there. So very textbook fake out with oil. And again, it's not fake outs and fake moves and and fake breakouts. They're all I just basically said the same thing 3 times, but it's all the same thing, and it happens across all different markets because liquidity is a thing in every single market. It needs it to move. So yeah, a big faker like that into the higher time frame level into 82. And now we're just seeing the follow through to the downside. So yeah, we could probably expect to see that gap filled around 75.67. So yeah, corrections to the upside would anticipate more downside falling after. So if you're looking to get involved with oil, you want to see some upside first, unless you're already in the trade, of course. And 79.50 looks like a decent level to short from, and anticipate more continuation to the downside. Yesterday I was talking about potential head and shoulder, didn't quite see it because obviously you got the left head, possible right shoulder, then the continuation, but price decided it wanted to break through without the right shoulder formation. But it might pull back now, maybe a little bit, overextended to the downside. So it might pull back into 79.54, and then we get the follow through to the fill the gap. But yeah, oil, I'm looking at more downside to the gap fill as well. So yeah, hopefully that made sense there on oil. I'll take a look at some of the yen pairs, USD JPY, CHF JPY as well. Coach Carter, what movie? What is up? Hope you're doing good. I'm new here. Regarding your support resistance boxes, what do I first have to look at when I draw these boxes in the chart? Okay, so when you're drawing support resistance, you want to be looking left, and you want to be looking at strong areas of rejection, which is simply what support resistance are. It's when the market reverses. So, if I just delete this out of the way, this is a strong level of resistance, because obviously this is what sent the market back down. So 83.19 is an area that you want to be looking at to draw your essentially your boxes, your rectangles. So yeah, you just want to be looking at, I do have a video on support resistance, probably a little bit old, because it's probably one of my first videos that I did, to be fair, which is probably like 2 years ago. So I probably will do a new video. Actually, no, did I do a recent video on support resistance? I can't remember. I did a video on entry levels, which is similar, but it's talking specifically more about entries. But yeah, I could do another video on support resistance, since it has been a while since I have done one. But yeah, you're basically just looking at support resistance, your levels where the market reverses, up or down, and these are the areas you want to be keeping tabs on, because if price gets there again, there's a good possibility the market could reject that. And again, support resistance is not the only thing we look at. Support resistance is the core kind of fundamental technical concept that I use to trade with. I'm always buying from support, selling from resistance, but I use other methods of confluence as well, just to justify my entry in my trade. But I do have a video on confluence as well. Just go through the Forex education playlist on the channel. There's a bunch of videos. On those topics. But yeah, I can't just explain that in one little clip. Danielle, why you don't use fundamental analysis? Because you don't need fundamental analysis to trade. Technicals, if you understand your technicals well enough, you got a profitable strategy, you got a profitable edge in the market, then you don't have to understand fundamentals. Don't get me wrong, fundamentals are useful. It is useful, definitely will help you as a trader, which is another reason why, I'm learning fundamentals. But you have to understand as well that we're trying to run a business here. It's not about where the market's going, what country's doing this is doing that. The politics here, inflation there, interest rates there, bank is doing that, like all of that stuff. Yes, it 100% does matter, but at the same time, it doesn't matter, because if you've got a profitable systematic system, if you've got a profitable systematic edge, which is defined by a set of criteria, a set of rules that when applied to the market generates a positive income, whatever strategy, whatever tools you're looking at, then that's all that matters at the end of the day. Does the tools you're using give you a profit at the end of the day? If it does, then yeah, then that's all you're looking at. You don't need to know if this country is going to do something that could affect this country too. Because if your criteria is met, then there's a trade for you. Thank you so much, Sefi, for subscribing. Do appreciate it. But yeah, if you got criteria that gives you a positive return, then you don't need to know the fundamentals. And that's just a fact, because I've gotten through years without understanding fundamentals and generated positive returns. And so have a lot of traders as well. Some traders go throughout their whole career not really understanding fundamentals. But obviously, don't get me wrong, fundamentals could add another layer to your trading, which technicals can't do. So that's another reason why I'm looking to learn it, or at least understand it better. But in terms of the ins and outs of actually trading, buying, selling, it's all technicals and it's all probability. If you got a probability in your favor, then at the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, end of the year, then you'll come out with profit. So that's why I don't use fundamentals. Hopefully that answered your question. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, I'll go do through USJPY and CTFJPY next. What are your thoughts on smart money concepts compared to price action? There's not really much thoughts there. A few people have been asking me what my thoughts on smart money concepts is, and it's I don't really I don't trade the strategy at all, so I don't really know much about it. The way I just look at it is we're here to run a business. We're here to make money. SMC is a method to run a business in the markets. Price action and SMC are the same thing really, because price action is the study of the action of price. SMC is a particular way to study the action of price. Support and resistance is another way, and indicators is another way as well. It's all strategies, learning how to trade the market. For me, the main thing you want to be focused on is yourself as a trader, because throughout every strategy, there's always going to be profitable and non-profitable traders. Doesn't matter what strategy you're trading, whether it's the best strategy in the world or the worst strategy in the world, as long as that strategy generates a positive return, then it's always going to be down to the trader to actually fulfill the objective of generating a positive return. And whether you're trading SMC or whatever, it doesn't matter. So you need to stop focusing on a particular strategy or particular way to enter the market or whatever, because in the long run it doesn't really matter, like, at all. So focus on becoming a good trader yourself, and not necessarily by learning the best techniques, but just by developing the best habits in terms of organization, journaling, discipline. Thank you so much, Smile. Organization, discipline, journaling, emotional control, self-awareness, all those skills there are, and patience, all those skills there are worth so much more than any strategy could ever give you. Trust me, because I've been through a lot of strategies, and the best strategies for me have always happened when I've always been on my A game in terms of just managing myself. And it's never been a particular strategy that's worked well. It's just that I've been following rules that I should be following and not messing around. So yeah, the main focus is yourself and not necessarily the strategy. Okay, so yeah, USDJPY, I'm looking at buys for this one. Looking for a push into 133,500 for a push higher. And it looks like we could be seeing a push back into this area here. I was pointing this area out yesterday as a very key level of support in the market around 135, 660. And it looks like we could be seeing a nice move back into that same area. So I'm looking for a push into that level. Hopefully we can get some retracement for that before that first. Retest that area, look for the next higher low. We've got lovely resistance here. It will be turned support now as well. So if you can get that retracement, buys look good. And that's kind of what I'm looking for most JPY pairs. Pound Yen, USDJPY, CTFJPY, EuroJPY. I'm looking at retracement and continuation for these pairs. And USDJPY is no different. So we'll be keeping an eye on 133,500, just above 133,500. Got some really good confluence in that area for whip out the old Fibonacci. We've got the 50% in that area there as well. If you can spike into that and see the continuation back to 135,500, that will look very, very good indeed. So that's the plan for USDJPY. It might just continue up higher without the retracement. If that's the case, then it's more of a lower time frame trade. But I'm looking for a deeper correction and then the continuation higher. But this was one has been placing consistent higher lows as we can see. So I'm looking for that pattern to repeat and continue higher. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for you, JPY. Take a look at CHF, JPY as well. Money Stacks, what do you think about entity CAD? Previously, you said you were waiting for more confirmation for. Yeah, I am still waiting for that more confirmation to buy the bullish flag, yeah, the bull flag on the daily chart. So yeah, I'm still looking at that bigger structure there. I'll go take a look at entity CAD in a bit more detail. But yeah, I'm still keeping an eye on entity CAD. Smile, what's up? I have a question for you. Number one, what time is good trading currencies? Also, which currencies is good to trade on 4-hour time frame? When the candle starts forming, by how many minutes it going to show this direction? So yeah, the best time to trade currencies is in session of that particular currency. So for example, pound, London session, looking to trade dollar, New York session. You can trade dollar as well in the London session as well, and pound in the New York session, because those are the two biggest sessions, and predominantly most currencies move in that session. Even pairs like Aussie and New Zealand. I mean, currencies like Aussie and New Zealand will also move during London and during New York, because that's when the most players are in the game. But if you're looking to trade Aussie and New Zealand a bit more heavily, then it might be best just to wait for the Asian session to trade them. And again, it's all reference to where you live in the world. London session is like 8 a.m. UK time to around 12 UK time, 12 p.m. UK time, and then New York's like 12 p.m. to like 5 p.m. UK time. Actually, it's a little bit further than that, like maybe 6, 7, but I would stop trading around 4 or 5. And then you have the Asian session, which is around like midnight till like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. UK time. So yeah, that's kind of roughly the sessions. But yeah, the best time to trade is normally during London or New York. And yeah, for the 4H candle question, you want to be waiting for candle closures. You want to be waiting for candle closures to define direction or define a particular entry pattern. You always want to wait for candle closures. So if the 4H has an hour and 20 minutes left, then you have to wait an hour and 20 minutes before deciding anything. So it's always on candle closures, always on candle closures. So you need to wait 4 hours for that candle to close for you to make a decision. No Lamborghini set up this week. Not yet, still got 2 days left. Potentially could happen. Bulaho, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Like much appreciate. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like. I really do appreciate it. It helps out the stream and the channel. If you are enjoying the stream, Hypefield Effects, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Poppy, did you get news to JPY trade? No, I was trading NZJPY instead. It was a head and shoulder, and the buy was exactly what you said. Your oracles, I wish I traded it. Yeah, oracles, yeah, I wish I traded it as well. I was shorting NZJPY. I was actually debating between the two, whether I took NZJPY here, I got out early around there. I was debating between NZJPY shorts and USJPY longs, and I knew I wasn't going to trade both of them because NZJPY and USJPY are obviously inversely correlated to an extent, because obviously they both have the JPY, but it's either I'm shorting the JPY or buying the JPY. So I favored NZJPY because of the risk reward was a little bit better. But obviously, USJPY played out a lot better. As we can see, lovely move to the upside where NZJPY is a little bit stagnant and ended up closing the trade a little bit early down there. Another day, maybe I would have chosen USJPY. In hindsight, you know, it would have been the better opportunity to take. But obviously, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and it has no place in trading because in hindsight, everyone would have done everything differently. But yeah, didn't take the opportunity, but it was a nice setup, fit the criteria well, really good rejection, good entry. I did a video about USJPY and the entry for it, so if you haven't checked that out, feel free to go and do that. Link is not in the description. If you go to my Forex education playlist, it's probably the most recent video on entries. I talk about it. So feel free to check that out. Let me go through CHF3Y before I forget, and I'll go through NZD-CAD as well. So yeah, CHF, wow, this one is just really pushing. Wow, I was expecting some retracement yesterday, but we didn't get it. So yeah, this one's really still pushing to the upside, and maybe it is just going to take out those highs before we do see the retracement. So CHF JPY, we're looking at 151, 500 as the high over here, as the previous daily, weekly high. And it looks like the market's just going to go and take out this high now. I mean, I'm still waiting for that retracement, but each day we're just seeing higher highs and higher lows. And even though the momentum is quite sluggish, the market's still pushing. So it's difficult to get involved with this one unless you're in like the 30-minute time frame and you take advantage of these smaller pullbacks here, here, and here. These are the best way to get involved with price action like this. But as to me, focusing on the full H and the hourly, I'm not really interested with that price action. So yeah, it's coming to some resistance. I can see why people will be looking to short CHF JPY, but quite frankly, the way I look to short pairs in such areas, I'm waiting for structure to break and some lower lows to be starting to create, and some lower highs as well. Then I'll look for some shorts. So it's actually a good area to short from. This is a predominantly a very, very big level, which obviously sent the market on a crazy downward spiral there. On the daily time frame. So it's a nice place to start looking for sells. But the way I trade is with structure, and right now prices give me higher highs and higher lows. So there's no way I'm looking to sell or short, which is the same thing. CHF JPY right now, I'm waiting for the market to start printing some lower lows and lower highs before I consider selling. And actually right now I'm only looking to buy, but I'm not too sure if I will, because I don't think I'll get an opportunity. I was looking for the retest of this structure coming into the week. And unless we see a big move back down into these areas, I'm not too sure if I actually will look to buy CHF JPY. It might just be one that's just really got going and just not one that pulls back, which does happen, and looks like it's happening. So yeah, if you're looking to sell from here, I would be wait for some reversal patterns, some double tops forming, break of structure before looking to get involved. In terms of the height of the market, yeah, it's in a good area. It's in a good area, good level. Strong resistance. Back at the prior daily and weekly highs. So it's a good place, but it's a little bit premature right now. The market's still pumping, and for all we know, we could actually go and take out these highs first. So be patient, wait for that structure to develop a little bit better, and then yeah, there could be some nice sells following CHF JPY. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for Swiss yen. NZD-CAD I will take a look at next. Also, setting a stop loss always be issue for me, because all my stop losses will be hunted. Yeah, I don't think everyone's out to get you specifically, Smile. It just might be not taking high quality setups, because it took me a long time to realize that when I was taking a lot of losses, it was just basically I wasn't taking good trades really. So if you're getting your stop loss hit a lot of times, it's just generally speaking not taking. Don't get me wrong, stop losses are part of the game. You will take losses 100%, doesn't matter how good the trades you are take. But if you're if you have like a win rate of like 20% and below, or 30% and below, then in general the quality of your trades is not that high. Don't get me wrong, still be profitable with 20%, even 30% win rate. If you use the appropriate risk reward, you can still be profitable. But and if we're talking about win rate here, if your win rate is like 20-30%, then you are taking a lot of losses there. So the quality of the trades are not quite high. Like I said, you can still be profitable, but the quality of the trades is not particularly high. So stop losses will always be part of the game. So just because you take a stop loss, it's not the end of the world. If you have a losing streak again, it's not the end of the world. But if you're taking a lot of losses, then your quality of the trades is not low. So it's not particularly that your stop losses are getting hunted, or that your stop losses are in poor areas. They might be, to be fair. I don't really know your trades. They could be in poor areas, which could be another problem. But maybe the quality of the trades you're taking is not particularly high. So it needs to be a whole kind of overlook of your strategy. Because if you're back testing and you're seeing that your stop losses are getting hunted in your back testing, then you know fundamentally there's something wrong with the strategy. But if the back testing proves profitability in your strategy, and then you come into the live markets and you're taking stop losses, that's a whole different issue altogether. That's more psychological than technical. So you need to do your research, your due diligence in your testing, because you don't want to be testing in the live markets. Doesn't make sense. That's like a surgeon testing on a real life patient. You don't test on a real life patient when the life is on the line, and your capital's on the line. You don't test with your live capital, especially large capital which you can't afford to lose. So go back test, go back to the drawing board, because like I said, if you haven't really got a profitable strategy yet, that's the number one thing you need to do. If you do have a profitable strategy but you're still taking a lot of losses, then there's a issue with yourself as a trader and applying that strategy under pressure, which is more to do with controlling emotions and self-management and self-awareness. So when you identify what the issue is it strategy, is it self-awareness, then you can look to double down and focus on whatever it is. But right now it could be a either or both. So anyway, NZD CAD. So NZD CAD, I'm looking at buys. We're still looking at that bigger daily structure here for a move back to the upside for this bigger correction there. But it's just still way too early for me to look to long the pair. Still way too early. Because if this is going to be a bull flag and we are going to see a continuation to the upside, then our highs. Let me just go see pound CAD real quick, by the way. Okay, pound CAD. Geez, that was a big candle there. So it's looking interesting, pound CAD. I'm still looking at short pound CAD, by the way, which is why I quickly just jumped over. So yeah, nice rejection there. Still a little bit premature. No real entry candle there for me. It's a nice rejection, but in the grand scheme of things, we're still coming back to consolidation and no entry pattern either. So I will be keeping an eye on pound CAD. Still looking at a lower high forming for a push back down. But I need a little bit more development there on the hourly time frame before any entries. So I'll just take a look there. Anyway, so back to NZD CAD. Where is NZD CAD? There we are. So yeah, NZD CAD. So if we're going to see a bull flag continuation with this one, if we are going to see a correction impulse, then where do we expect the market to head towards? Well, if this is an correction impulse, we expect it to at least come back into the highs up here, but most likely go further than that. So if we're looking at such a move all the way back to the highs, then why do I want to try and get involved here, where the stakes are at the highest? Obviously, the risk reward potential is the highest as well, but I'm not here in the markets to catch 10, 20 to 1s. I'm here for the 3 to 4s. And if we can get a shift in structure, some higher highs and higher lows on the way up, maybe break out of the trend line here, break through the highs. If I can get a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 back to here, this is the type of trade I'm after. Catching the higher lows on the way up. I'm not trying to do anything in here. Some people look to do that, and that's part of their trading plan. That's perfectly fine, but that's just not part of mine. So this for me is just not the place I'm looking to do that. And again, on the 4H is where I'm actually trading. This is where I do my analysis on, and the 4H for me is still printing successive lower lows and lower highs, as we can see here. So this structure is bearish, so it's way too premature for me to look for any longs. I need to see the 4H shifting bullish, then I'll be looking for some longs on the higher lows, start breaking through some structure, cool, look for pullback there, get involved, take the buys to the upside. So yeah, NZD CAD is a long way from me looking to buy the pair, unless we start breaking through some structure suddenly, then it might be added to the watch list. But NZD CAD is a nice area of value. It's not quite that resistant, which is where I was expecting to get to this week. Could still get there, to be fair, but yeah, it's just too early. 4H is still bearish. I need to be waiting for that to shift bullish first before I look to buy. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so yeah, no problem, Smile. Happy to help. No problem, Super Goki. Happy to help as well. What do you use a confirmation and which time frame? I literally got an exact video which I did not yesterday, last week, Friday, which goes into detail on that question. I use the hourly time frame to enter and predominantly use engulfing candles, but I go into a bit more detail on that video. So if you go to my Forex education playlist or just go to my channel, you will see a video titled Powerful Entry Technique Explained. That's literally where it all is, so go check that out. Mighty King, do you trade support resistance pullback or market structure pullback? Do you trade support resistance pullback or market structure? What's the difference? I trade market structure with support resistance as well. Yeah, so I'm looking at market structure. I'm waiting for the market to pull back essentially. So if the market's creating higher highs and higher lows, I'm waiting for it to pull back and I buy on support. So yeah, it's kind of yes to both of those questions really. So yeah, I'm buying from support and selling from resistance, and I'm trading in the direction of the market structure. I didn't trade because I was in the gym. Oh, okay, that's a good excuse though. Good excuse. Getting the gains, Poppy. I'm not trying to do my yoga for trades. Exactly. I mean, again, using the market to work for you, not against you. Sometimes you just nog me at the charts to take a trade. Hey, thank you so much, Jackson, for subscribing. Sometimes you just nog me at the charts to take a trade, and you're gonna miss some trades, and that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. It's just something you got to accept, which is difficult because you want to be in your winning trades, but yeah, sometimes you're not going to be there to take them. Dodger, what is up? Looking to short pound CAD, just waiting for a little more. Yeah, same here as well. I'm looking to short pound CAD as well. Coming to a very, very nice area. Took a loss yesterday on it, but now it's coming back into a beautiful area of confluence. It's a quite strong impulse. So I'm waiting for a bit more development before I look to press the trigger, because we've just had an impulse, which is a bit of a red flag. But if we can get some good rejection around here, I do think we can sell off, because over here, as you can see, we did get impulse, but we got some further development, this consolidation, and the price eventually rolled over. So I'm looking at the market holding this area and doing the exact same thing, and we are rejecting a higher time frame, very, very key area on the weekly chart as well. So I do think if we're going to have a successful reaction from this level, there's a lot of room to the downside for NZD-CAD, possibly back down to these lows here. So yeah, NZD-CAD, sorry. Pound CAD, I'm looking at some sales for this one at the same area as you. So we'll be keeping an eye out for it. If I do get any entries on Pound CAD, I'll let you guys know in the old Telegram group. But yeah, it's still a little bit early for me to look for any entries. I'm liking the momentum in the hourly, but no entry signal, and price is still deemed bullish. So need to stay patient and wait. But in terms of the location where price is trading, it's a very, very nice area, and waiting to see if we can get some entry to take it back down. Okay. To sell is so, yeah, I'm saying that so wrong. Which one do you recommend to take and order as per your analysis? Do you mean what trade to take? I'll let you know if I get a trade on my Telegram. So if you're on the Telegram, thank you so much, Alex, for subscribing. If you're in my Telegram, link to that in the description below. I'll post the setup there if I do get one. Poppy, after just missing so many TPs, I see it as a sign to tweak my trading style. Possibly, it could be a time to tweak the trading style. It could just be you know, the luck of the draw as well, because there are times where I'm missing out on, you know, a few winning trades. And the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really make too much difference. Obviously, it would be nice to be in those trades and make more profit, but sometimes you're just not going to be there to take the opportunities. The key thing that matters is what opportunities are you actually taking. That's the important thing, because that's what actually comes up in your portfolio when you're looking across your results for the month, for the quarter. You know, those are what actually matters. What opportunities are you actually taking? it's all, it's unfortunate if you're missing out some good winners and missing out some trades that are losers as well. But are the trades you're taking, are they profitable? Not individually, but as a whole, are they profitable? Then if you're seeing good profit, then there's not much need to tweak. Sometimes you're just going to miss out on the winners, from time to time. That's just going to be normal. But if you're looking back across your results and you're not seeing the returns you want to be seeing, not necessarily because you have high standards or you have high ambitions, but you're just not seeing positive returns, let's say, or sufficient returns, then yeah, it might be time to tweak the trading style. But it's the trades that you take that are important ones. If they're sufficient enough, then there probably isn't much to tweak. Maybe it is in terms of the hours you're looking at the charts. But if you're seeing good success, the best thing to do, from my experience, is look to maintain that rather than to try and aggressively better it. Because in the past, when I've seen some success, and I've tried to push it further, purely out of greed, really. Because I'm making good returns, but who doesn't want to make more? Doesn't matter how much you're making, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%. If you ask someone made 30% in a month, would you rather make 40? Of course he would say yes. So out of greed, you want to make more. But from my experience, the times when I'm looking to push myself further has normally caused self-sabotage. So there's nothing wrong with trying to improve, but it's got to be a gradual improvement rather than sharpish. But yeah, if you think you need to tweak, then obviously tweak. But if you're seeing some good results, then for me, the biggest focus should be maintenance rather than improvement. At least for a little while, then yeah, you can look to improve. Okay, where am I? At this stage, I'd rather have a loss than another nearly. Okay, fair enough. That's ruthless, Poppy. Have a loss than another nearly. I mean, I wouldn't want to have a loss than another nearly. I'd rather miss a winning trade than take a loss. Because then I still got the money I have in my capital, and I can use that to deploy another good trade. Sure, I might miss it. I might have to wait a couple of days for another good opportunity, but at least I got that capital for another position rather than taking a loss. Mighty King, do you trade support resistance? Yeah, I already asked that question. Sharif, what is up? Hope you're doing good. On gold, hour time frame. Last lower. Don't know why I said hour. Last lower high is at 2011. So I would be shorting the pair with a stop above the level. I believe the pair will fall many pips in the coming weeks. Okay, we'll take a look at gold. So gold's pushing to the upside here. So again, that's why it's very, very important waiting for candle closures, because we were looking at this shortly, not too long ago, and this was actually looking quite bearish. But just like that, gold flips and closes bullish. It's quite a volatile market, but that's what you've always got to wait for candle closures. Always wait for candle closures. Again, here on the left as well, I know for a fact a lot of people got caught here. Big impulse to the downside here. I know this is just a wick, but at the time it would have been a very, very big bearish candle. A lot of people, FOMO, fear of missing out, you'll be shorting here just to see the market pull back and the next candle just take them out for an L. So yeah, it can be a gruesome place if you're impatient, and yeah, it could be impatient there as well. But nonetheless, gold is still in a fantastic place for some sales. So I'm still keeping an eye on gold. I'm not too sure if I'll get involved. The risk reward is looking a little bit but if I see some momentum and the risk reward looks decent, I will still look to take it short. So it looks like it's coming to the trend line now, and we are still rejecting this bigger zone here at 2K. So I still like the area gold is in, and I still favor downside. But let's see how price is going to react with that area. Did you say you've taken a trade, or you're looking to take a trade? On gold, on the hourly time frame, the last lower high is at 2011. So I would be shorting the pair with a stop loss above the high. Okay, so 2011 is here, I suppose. So okay, a stop loss above there, pretty safe. I do like it. If I take the trade though, my stop loss will be above my entry candle. But again, that's much safer stop loss. Gives you a little bit more room to play with. And then yeah, targets naturally back to the prior lows or 1960 either. So yeah, I'm waiting for that shift of momentum. Still haven't got it yet for gold. Price are kind of messing around all over the place here, consolidating, retesting. Need to see that shift of momentum to justify any entries. But in terms of location and the confluences, it does look good for gold. It does look good for some downside. If we break through, then I'll switch my bias to bullish. But at the moment, I still do favor the sell side of things for gold. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that. We'll be keeping an eye out on that. But nothing yet though. Hey Moch, what's up? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Sharif, so you're only interested in breaking the trend first, then looking for a setup. Breaking the trend. What do you mean by that? Breaking the trend. You mean break of structure? I mean, I'm interested in structure alone. If prices give me bullish structure, break of structure first. If I'm looking for a reversal, then yes, I'm waiting for the break of structure. I'm just interested in structure, period. If there's bullish structure, I'm predominantly looking for buys. Bearish structure, I'm predominantly looking for sells. And the reason why I say predominantly is because sometimes the structure is just not good quality, so I just throw it away. But if there's good bullish structure, I'm going to be looking for buys. If there's good bearish structure, I'm going to be looking for sells. If prices get into a significant area on the higher time frames where I think there's a higher chance of reversal, then yeah, I'll be waiting for the break of structure and some patterns to sell. So yeah, essentially break of structure if I'm looking for reversals, but if I'm not looking for break of structure, if I'm looking for continuation, then yeah, I'm looking for upside. For example, like NZD CAD's at a very nice area where we could be seeing, a reversal to the upside. But I need to see that break of structure first and some higher highs and higher lows before I look for buys. Because right now, this is still, very, very bearish. But I'm not looking to sell the pair because of where it is right now. So I'm waiting for some higher highs and higher lows, and then I'll be looking to buy it to the upside. So hopefully that made sense. Mighty King, do you prefer solid resistance or support and trend line with a pullback, or break of structure and pullback into the zone to take a trade? So do you prefer taking pullbacks or break of structure reversals? Is that as they talking about? So pullbacks or reversals? If that's the question you're asking, then I generally do prefer taking pullbacks rather than reversals. I have a little bit more success with pullbacks than reversals. So yeah, I like taking continuations of already certified trades. Certified trends rather than taking reversals. I still take reversals, don't get me wrong, but I have a little bit more success when the trend's already in flow and taking shorts like that, and then rather than take reversals. So if there's two opportunities, one's a continuation, one's a reversal, I'll go with the continuation rather than reversal. Most of the time, but I do take both the opportunities if they come up. So I will be interested in both. But yeah, support resistance is always going to be there. So the zones I'm trading with are support resistance. That's the basis of my trading. Obviously, I have confidence on top of that, but it's always going to be buying off support, selling off resistance. That's always going to be in my trading there, whether I'm taking reversals or continuations. Okay, AGY, I'll take a look. I see a good support resistance and downtrend on the daily chart. Okay, we'll take a look. No problem. Poppy, if you took my trades, you would have had an amazing month. I need to increase my lot size and start taking partials. That's good. That's good. I mean, again, if you're going to increase your lot size, you need to increase your account size, unless you'll increase your percentage to 1, 2, maybe 3%. But obviously, it needs to be manageable. But then keep it up, Poppy. This is good. Again, you just need to have a strategy that plays out in reference to your edge and be systematic with it. And obviously, the goal is to attain as much capital as possible throughout your trading career and perfect it as much as possible. Taking partials is something that I do, and it works well for me. Obviously, it does minimize the risk reward you take on a full position, but for the psychological and the kind of the drawdown benefits as well, taking partial helps fight against drawdown as well. I'll take partials any day of the week rather than try and hold up for the full 3 or 4R. Anyway, ADJPY I'll take a look at. But yeah, keep it up, Poppy. Keep it up. Where is ADJPY? Have to type it out. ADJPY, there we are. Okay, so yeah, ADJPY, we were talking about this one yesterday briefly, and I said some shorts coming up for this one. Coming to some nice areas. We do have a really big zone here, which I forgot to point out yesterday. Really big zone here on the daily chart, so it'll be interesting to see what the daily does at this zone. But yeah, main interest is on the 4H. So we do have this bearish structure on the daily, low, lower high, low, lower high, low, looking at the low high brewing up somewhere. I'm specifically talking about this area here of confluence, really nice support level there. And also fib level at the 0.786 if I'm, yeah, 0.786 just about. So this is what I'm looking at ADJPY pushing into. You've got really good confluence up there. If you can see some good price action, I do think we can see some good downside. Again, I won't be looking for the home run all the way down to the lows, but I can probably get a decent, risk to reward, a decent trade in this area. So this is where I'm looking for price to come into. These are the targets. These will be the targets for the trade. I probably won't even push it this far, to be fair, if I do get entries near enough around there. I want to see some signs that the market is looking to reverse. Right now, this is still a very corrective, bullish market. I'm not really interested in doing anything here. I know he's coming to the 0.618, does have some broken support, term resistance there. In fact, if the market does show me some break of structure and some lower lows and lower highs, then I will actually consider looking to get involved around here. But until I start to see this price action, I'm not looking to do anything with ADJPY. And the thing is, we might just push to the upside anyway. So I'm waiting for sales for this one. What do you say you're looking at? Okay, 91.24. So yeah, I think you're talking about. Okay, so you're pretty much talking about the same zone I'm talking about then as well. This support level here, I suppose. 91.24. That's around there. Just yeah, 91.250. So yeah, same place you're talking about as me as well. So yeah, it looks good for that area. You can see some good rejection around there. And I do think we can see some really nice sell opportunities, but need to be patient, but yeah, I do like the setup, higher time frame, taking it lower. It does look pretty good. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that made sense for ADJPY. Mighty King, hi Miko, I just wanted to say thanks for sharing your market insights and analysis. I'm new to your channel through Nick's channel. Okay, nice. When are you going to his channel? I'll be actually going to his stream later today, 2 p.m. UK time, so wherever that is, where you guys are in the world. So yeah, I will be live again with him later today, so stay tuned for that. I'll drop a link to that chat in the Telegram. But yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people new on the channel as well. Welcome everyone who is new. As Mighty King has said, I go through the market. I share my insights, my analysis, trades, watch list, and just general experience as well. So if you are interested and like the sound of that, feel free to subscribe to the channel. But welcome aboard. What are your thoughts on EURUSD? We'll take a look at EURUSD next. Cam, what is up? What broker do you use? I use IC Markets. I do actually have an affiliate link to IC Markets at the top of the chat. If you're interested in checking them out, feel free to use the link. You don't have to, but yeah, IC Markets are the broker I'm using for the past maybe 4 years now, maybe even a little bit longer than 4 years. But yeah, I've been using them for quite a while, and yeah, it's been good. Mighty King, have you ever had a margin call or liquidated your account before? No, I haven't actually. I'm not as risky as most traders would be when they're starting out. I've never actually blown an account before. Don't get me wrong, I've probably lost maybe about 60-70% of accounts, so it's almost blowing an account. But I've never actually blown an account before, and that's purely down to just my risk tolerance, because even when I was starting out, just putting money in an account and not really know what I was doing, I was always risking small percentages of my account. So the way I would, blow accounts, and by blow I mean like lose 70% of it, is by like 1,000 cuts. You know how they say like death by 1,000 cuts? That's literally how my trading account will bleed. So I'll never like take a 10%, 15%, even if I had a small amount in the account, like £100. Even if I had £100, I would never risk like £10 on the trade. The most I'd risk is probably like £4 or £5, if that's like 0.01 lots as well. So yeah, I'd always manage my risk quite well. And yeah, I've actually got to a stage where I've blown an account before, which is I mean, I don't classify it as something as an achievement really. It's just never got to blow an account. But I know, if I was slightly bit more risk adverse, I mean, not risk adverse, is that the right word? No, risk, more likely to take on more risk, I would have blown an account. But yeah, I've never actually experienced a margin call before. I don't know what the emotion or the thrill is behind it. I'm pretty sure it's exciting though. Euro USD, we'll take a look. Where is Euro USD? Can't seem to find any pairs. Okay, there you are, Euro USD. So yeah, Euro USD, we were talking about this one yesterday briefly. I said we are coming to some nice areas of support. And that trend line as well. We could see a bounce from this area. We did see a bounce to the upside for Euro USD, but I did say I wasn't really a big fan of this area. And I said that because we are, very, very close to the prior, daily highs, weekly highs up here. And the market has just taken these highs here. And we had a really strong impulse to the upside, followed by a brief consolidation, followed by impulse back down. So I'm not really a fan of the price action in this area. And particularly because it's so close to the highs up here, I don't really want to be buying into these areas. I want to be buying above these areas, so away from these areas. So if the market's to break above, then buying away from it or selling away from these areas. I don't want to be buying towards once price has already liquidated it. If it hasn't liquidated it, then yeah, I would expect buy towards levels being good. But we really have pushed through. We create some new highs. It might be time for a bigger retracement now. As you can see, new high created, retracement, new high created, retracement, maybe new high created, retracement phase. So I don't want to be buying in towards these levels now. I want to be buying away or selling away from the levels, which is why I've been reluctant to look for trades around here. In terms of the confluence, it's a nice setup. It's a great level to trade from. In terms of the resistance, now turn support, it looks very, very good. And so obviously, connecting these high lows here, there as well. So everything looks good in terms of the technicals, but it's just that resistance level there that gives me heebie-jeebies. So personally for Euro USD, I'm just waiting to see what the market does in this area. See if we're going to do one or two things. It's going to start breaking to the upside. Trend's going to continue. See some higher highs and higher lows. I'll look for the retracement and get involved like so. Or we're going to look for the reversal. Snap through the support level, maybe break through some structure, lower high, then we look for the reversal to the downside. So either one of these two setups is what I'm after. I'm not interested in getting involved here. I want to get involved after that's happened, to the upside or to the downside. But here for me, I would have to favor buys because I follow structure. That's the way I trade. That's my analysis. So I would have to favor buys because the market's still creating higher highs and higher lows. The market's still bullish, even from the weekly, daily, 4 hour. Everything is still pretty bullish with Euro USD. Don't get me wrong. It's just in terms of the quality of the setup, in terms of buying the pair right now, it's not a good location for me to do it. That's the only reason why I'm not looking to take the trade or look for trades in this area. So I'm waiting for price to do one of these two things, and then I'll be looking to trade Euro USD. But in terms of my analysis right now, it's I would favor upside, but because of where we're trading, the probability is slightly lower of it playing out. So I'm just going to be waiting to see what Euro USD does next. And then I'll look to get involved shortly after, if I can get the necessary structure. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for Euro USD. Zesty, what is up? What about the head and shoulder on gold 4H time frame? Okay, we'll take a look at that. So yeah, I think this is the head and shoulder you're talking about. The old left shoulder here, the head, and a very kind of weird right shoulder forming. So yeah, the head and shoulder pattern is there. It's there for us to see. But we need to see the entries. So The head and shoulder pattern is there, but there's nothing here looking for us to, or at least for me anyway, to enter the chart. So for gold, I'm waiting to see a nice shift in momentum, a nice bullish engulfing, something like that at least, before I start to consider looking to get into the trade. Because right now we could actually still break out through the level. Dollar still looking a little bit strong, still might see that push to the upside, which could help out the dollar bears. The gold bears. Yeah, gold right now is at a very nice area for. Oh, that was a big push there for gold. Wow, did you see that? It was literally trading here and it just jumped like, don't know how many pips, but to the upside. So gold's getting a little bit excited right now. So yeah, I'm waiting for that shift in momentum for the bears. Right now we're still seeing bullish momentum still alive and kicking. Still got 29 minutes before that candle closes. So this could just be a big wick and it could actually pull back bearish, and that could actually give us a good entry. But we need a lot to happen there in the next 29 minutes before a setup is deemed. And in fact, if you get a 4H close above this in the next 2 hours and 29 minutes, then the setup for me would be invalid actually, and we could actually be seeing a buys back up to the high up there. So yeah, gold sells look good, but we have to be patient for momentum. But yeah, the head and shoulder pattern is there. It's I can see it. Just need a good entry. CAD yen. Okay, we'll take a look at CAD yen as well. Miko, if unemployment claims are more than the previous unemployment claims, will go up and down. I'm not too sure. You can find that out if you click on if you go to MyFX book. They've literally got the explanation of what will happen. I mean, I can tell you now actually. Where's the unemployment claims? I mean, I can see the jobless claims here. I can't see anything about unemployment. I mean, jobless claims, it's pretty much the same as the unemployment, to be fair. But yeah, if it goes, where is it? Okay, so yeah, a high expected figure should be seen as negative, bearish for USD, while a lower than expected figure should be seen as positive for USD. So if wherever the result comes out now, if it's higher than what is expected to be, so yeah, it's expected to be 1820. So if it's higher than 1820, then it should be bearish for USD, and if it's lower than 1820, then it should be bullish for USD. So hopefully that answers your question. If you go to MyFX book, literally if you click on the news itself, it will explain to you if it comes out higher or lower, what it should do for the dollar. Poppy, I bought my first PC. I'm building a trading rig in my living room. I find myself being a bit lazy. I will no longer have the excuse I wasn't aware. Good. Yeah, I mean, once you got a good setup, it does motivate you to trade it even more as well. When you get a good setup, you feel legit as well. I remember when I was getting a desktop as well, and 2 screens as well. You do feel like you're on Wall Street or something. But yeah, I mean, you've got to make your surroundings match what you want it to be. If you want to be a professional trader, you got to act professional. Of course, if you can't afford the gear, that's a different question. But when you can, it's a good investment to make. Possible buy for Bitcoin, pulling back into strong resistance, turning into support with trendline confidence. Okay, we'll take a look at Bitcoin next. Nike, what is up? Hey bro, thanks for the market insights. Can you please take a look at AUD CAD and pound into the USD CAD? Okay, we'll take a look. See, no problem. Money inside. Hey, gold breakout. Hey, thank you, Poppy. Much appreciated. Norwegian. Is it Krone? I think it's Krone. I'm not too sure. But much appreciated for the donation. Thanks for the day. You have encouraged. Your encouragement helps. Good. I mean, that's the goal of the stream. Help people out as much as possible. To be fair, I had a lot of kind messages recently from people saying the streams and the content helps. So, let's hit my elbow. Yeah, that's music to my ears. If the content is really helping you guys and you're seeing good improvements in your trading, and again, you know, some of the credit, yeah, it might be the streams and the content I'm putting out, but a lot of the credit is down to yourself, guys, because it doesn't matter what I teach you in terms of the technicals. You know, if you're not becoming the trader you're meant to be in terms of the discipline, the journaling, the organization, the self-awareness, the emotional control, you know, you won't be seeing the results you want to see. So all of the characteristics I just mentioned there are all to do with you guys making that conscious decision to become more organized, to become more disciplined, you know, self-aware. So, you know, a lot of the credit is down to the trader. You know, it doesn't matter how much the mentor taught him in terms of the technicals, in terms of actually, you know, making the conscious, correct decision. Sure, the mentor will give the guidance, but you know, the credit is really due to yourself, at least the majority of it. So yeah, give yourself some pat on the back, guys, if you've seen some good improvement. If you're not, don't worry. There's still a long way to go. You know, whether you've been training for, you know, a month, a quarter, a year, 2-3 years, it doesn't really matter. You know, everyone's on different paths. So don't try and compare yourself. You know, see if someone's grass is greener. You know, I did that a lot of the time, trying to look at other people's grass, you know, seeing if it's greener than mine, and then neglect to water my own grass, which is, you know, just stupid in itself, because instead of looking at other people's grass, why not water yours and it will become greener? So yeah, if you're not seeing the success you want to see, don't worry, it will come. It's just a lot of perseverance, determination, and faith at the start, and then it becomes into discipline. But at the start, you need a lot of faith. Anyway, what pairs was I supposed to look at? So yeah, Bitcoin, we'll go take a look at CAD JPY. I almost forgot. So yeah, CAD JPY Bitcoin, we'll take a look. Then we'll go through AUD CAD, pound is the USD CAD as well. Gold breakout, no gold. I have to wait for candle closure to consider a breakout. So I need to see a strong 4H closure above the highs here. We've got 2 hours and 23 minutes before we get the candle closure. So need to see at least a, you know, hourly candle closure to even consider the breakout. But 4H will be preferable to consider the breakout. Thank you so much, the great Ali, for subscribing. So yeah, there could be some buys for gold if we break out higher, but still premature, still could reject. This could just still be a wick, and then we could roll over. So candle closures, where we're going to look to act on our decisions. I mean, not act on our decisions, make decisions on price action. You know, open candles, anything can happen. We could pull back, and this candle could actually close bearish. So candle closure is very, very important. Okay, so yeah, CAD yen, let me go through that one first, and we go to Bitcoin as well. So yeah, CAD yen's seen some downside. So CAD yen's actually at a nice area. So this was the area I was pointing out on the weekly analysis, saying we've got this very, very slight descending channel here, and price is now at the extremes of it, at the highs. So, you know, it's either do or die right now for CAD yen. It's either we're going to get a breakout or we're going to reject price. And it looks like we are rejecting price here. We've had some consolidation over the past few days here. If I change the color of that, make it maybe hollow, change the color to, I don't know, green, intensify that. Yeah, so this, is green a good color? No, let's go purple. Okay, so you got the consolidation there. Now it looks like price, if price can break out that consolidation, then you're looking at a nice classic breakout, retest, continuation pattern. So yeah, I do favor more downside for CAD yen, because like I said, it's do or die. It's either we're going to get the breakout of the consolidation or we're going to reject it. That's the only two things that can happen, you know, with when price is at the high of a consolidation or higher at a channel. It can either break out or it can reject it and reverse. It might fake out whilst it's there a couple times, like we're seeing with pound USD. But of course, with pound USD, there's only two things that can happen as well with this one as well. It's either going to get a breakout or we're going to reverse. Yeah, there's some fake outs there as well, but the two things are the only possibilities that can happen. So with CAD yen, it looks to be we're rejecting it. We are rejecting on the daily. If we can see some nice momentum breaking through to the downside, simply look for the retest of the support level, and then you can get some nice shorts there to the downside. And targets is up to you. You've got the high over here you can target. Let me change that back to the blue. So you got the support level there you can target. It's a bit too bright. There we go. You got some support down here you can target as well. You know, it's up to you how far you want to take the trade. That's down to your management and your risk reward. But yeah, CAD-Gen's at a nice little level, so keep an eye out for that. So Bitcoin's seeing some buys, I believe. Yeah, Bitcoin's seen some downside. Yeah, it's not a bad place for some buys. I probably wouldn't myself, because predominantly in this area, I'm bearish on Bitcoin from this like kind of 30k area up. I'd rather be looking at sells. Reason being, if we go to the weekly chart, you know, this is a very, very big level on the weekly chart. You know, this was an infamous level keeping Bitcoin bullish. I remember, you know, when price was trading here last year, you know, this was a colossal level. A lot of people probably been looking for buys at this level. It broke through. Now we're testing as resistance, you know, so I don't really want to be buying into this. Short term, maybe, but I'd rather be looking for some lower highs here. So as you can see, the market's starting to print some lower highs now. Let me get rid of this level. We know it's there. If the market can come up again, you know, form another lower high, I'd rather be looking for that next leg to the downside for Bitcoin. We retest some structure like so, and then take the sell. So yes, there might be some buys on the way up, but I'd rather focus on the sells first. You could probably do both, you know, buy and sell, but I'd favor sells because we're in that higher time frame bearish area. If you break through this 31k mark, then yeah, buys above it would look very, very good, but I don't really want to be buying towards it. I want to be selling away from it. So yeah, that's the way I see Bitcoin right now. Unless we break through the 30k, 31k mark, then I'll be looking for buys above that. But right now, I favor this structure here. So yeah, it's not a bad place to buy from. It's a decent level of resistance and support. But I'd rather look for the sales around 29,800. So yeah, I hope that made sense for Bitcoin. So yeah, 80k pound is the USD CAD. We'll move on to next. Can I sell gold now? Yep, I would not be looking to sell gold now. If I do get an entry on gold, I'll post it in the Telegram. But it's still a little bit too early to sell gold. Got stopped out on gold. Unfortunate as SD. I mean, I got stopped out on pound CAD yesterday, so keeping you company there. But yeah, you're gonna take losses from time to time. Sometimes you get losing streaks. You know, I've had not the best periods over the past, you know, few weeks. Ever since I went to Rwanda, a few losses in a row, only a partial win on NZJPY. So again, good times and bad times, they're going to fluctuate in your trading career. It's not like, you know, everything just clicks and suddenly, yeah, everything is just like going up and up. You know, it doesn't matter how good of a trader you are. You will go through some downward spirals. You go through some break-even spirals. And you'll go through some spirals where prices just, you know, where your trades is flying and prices, you know, going where you tell it to pretty much. And that's what it was like for me at the start of the year. At the start of the year, end of Jan, coming to Feb, a little bit of March, went on a nice winning streak. And then shortly after that, it was a bit more break even, few wins here, few losses. And then, yeah, since Rwanda, a few losses in a row. But again, that's going to happen, you know, throughout the course of the year. I will have multiple winning streaks. I will have multiple losing streaks. But as long as I'm making more when I win than when I lose, I'm making money. So that's the important thing. But yeah, I'm looking to short gold at the current price as well. You just need to see that shift in momentum. The market's starting to pull back, but still got 60 minutes left. So won't be making any assumption until that candle closes. But yeah, it's in a tasty area, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, we're going to take a look at 80 CAD, pound NZD, USD CAD. So 80 CAD, what's going on with this guy? Oh, seen some nice upside there. So yeah, this structure's been absolutely awful. I don't like the structure one bit. There's a bigger descending structure here, but yeah, I'm not too sure if I would be willing to trade it. I did say last week that, you know, if it was to come back to this area, I'll consider looking to shorts. I'm not even too sure if I'll look to short it anymore. This double bottom is quite aggressive. The fact that we've been so corrective this bearish leg, you know, this doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. We might see a reaction coming into that area. But is it enough to justify a trade? Not too sure. I'm not too sure. This is kind of the ones where I could take the trade. It fits the plan, but at the same time, it's just not of high quality. I know maybe if I wait a day or two, there'll be a better opportunity that could arise soon. So yeah, 80k, I don't like it personally. If you're looking to trade it, Then there's a nice area here around 0.91182 for some shorts. Yeah, I'm not a fan personally, just way too correct. I've not seen the impulsive nature I want it to, and the fact that we're forming some equal lows here might actually be going for a reversal. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a nice area of confluence there. Might see a reaction, but my advice, my tip would be not to push the trade too far. Okay, so pound is the USD CAD. We'll take a look at next. We were through that one. Phronesis, good morning. What is up? Hope you're doing good. Pound CAD is on the third of the trend line for sell. Yeah, I'm actually looking at selling pound CAD. Getting back involved with this one. Had to be patient though. Wait for that entry signal. Yeah, didn't quite see that there. Nice bearish move, but as you can see, the next candle there, bullish right back into that area. So need development there before looking to take any trades for pound CAD. It's that nice area, don't get me wrong, this is good area of confluence right at the extremes, because if price is actually going to break out through here, yeah, it might actually be going bullish anyway. So we'll be looking for some sales around here. It's a little bit too early. We'll keep an eye out for pound CAD to get back into some shorts, but at the moment, nothing there for me. But yeah, I'm looking at pound CAD sales, and I'll let you guys know in the Telegram if I do get a re-entry for it. Sniper trades, I appreciate you, bro. I've learned a lot from your daily analysis. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad you've learned a lot. Keep it up. Tariq, what's up? Can I sell gold now? Again, you don't need my permission to sell gold. You know, that should be down to you and you alone. You know, you don't need my permission for you to risk capital on a particular trade. You should have criteria set. If you don't have criteria to take a trade, then you're pretty much just gambling. And most time, well, almost every time, it's a waste of time. So yeah, if you're looking to trade serious, go out and study a strategy. It doesn't have to be crazy. Just go and test it out in the markets. If you can get a positive outcome, you know, after like 500,000 trades, you've got a strategy, and then you can implement that. Then you don't have to ask me for questions. I mean, you can ask me for questions, but not ask me to enter a trade. You can ask me my opinion and anything else, to be fair, but whether to take a trade or not, you know, that's got to come down to you and you alone. I'll share you my advice and my opinion, but that's a decision I can't make for you. Okay, so I'll go through pound NZD and USD CAD, and then we'll take a look at Swiss franc as well. Is GJ correlated with gold? When gold drops, GJ does go up, right? No, I mean, gold's not really correlated with GJ. I never really look at a correlation between gold and pound yet. Gold and pound USD, potentially, yeah, because obviously they're both correlated to dollar. If dollar's going to be strong, then gold's going to be weak. Most of the time, pound's going to be weak as well, normally weaker than the dollar. I mean, gold, Euro USD's got a better correlation, but I'll never really compare gold and pound yen. They might have some slight correlation, but nothing to look into much. Gold and Euro USD's got the best correlation, or actually gold and dollar itself, really. Astro, yeah, we'll take a look at CTF-JPY. Dance with the Walls, oil retracing up. Hope it gets there. Looking for some juicy Middle Eastern short. Yeah, we'll take a look at oil as well. I mean, we're still looking for the gap fill on oil, so if it is retracing up, I think that's just going to give people some opportunities to get involved with some shorts. So yeah, I will take a look at oil in a second. Let me go through pound New Zealand and USD CAD, was it? Yeah. Okay, so pound NZD, this is an awfully bullish market. I was actually looking for this one to reverse this week because it was coming to a very nice level of resistance. I wasn't really looking to buy into it. The way I'm looking at pound NZD is not really from a structural perspective because the structure is absolutely chaotic. I'm looking at it from just a level to level perspective. This was a key zone I was looking at this week. I was seeing if we can reverse from that, you know, break through some structure to the downside, and start seeing some lower lows and lower highs. But unfortunately, the market broke to the upside there. So for pound NZD, buys look decent. I probably wouldn't buy right now, just because we're breaking above the level right now. You know, it's a weekly level. I want to see some weekly candle closures above it. So I don't want to be the first person to take some buys above it. I mean, it's not the worst trade in the world, taking some breaking retests around there, or even some deeper pullbacks into this area here. You know, these are not the worst trades in the world. You know, they still look decent, still following the trend. We're seeing momentum across multiple time frames, and it looks like we are breaking through a very big piece of structure as well. So it does make sense to be looking for some buys here for pound NZD. But I would love to see a weekly candle closure above this 2.005 level first before entertaining the buys. But in terms of direction, the structure's still up, so I have to favor buys for this one, and it looks like we are getting a big breakout of that level. Still got the rest of today's price action and Friday's price action before the weekly candle closes, so there's possibility of the market to come back underneath. So that's kind of the only red flag, but I do favor more upside for pound NZD now that price is not looking like we're going to reverse anytime soon, and we're still seeing bullish momentum alive and well, especially for the break of that level. But yeah, if I was going to look personally for some trades for myself, I would wait for the weekly candle close to justify that breakout. USD CAD, okay, let me take a look at USD CAD. So USD CAD I was taking a look at earlier. I said we are coming to some areas of resistance, might see some downside, not quite at that level there. I was talking about 1.35 where we might see some downside for USD CAD, because even though I am looking at another higher low forming for USD CAD with these higher lows here, consistent higher lows as we can evidently see, I'm looking at another higher low for another move back up to 1.365. However, I've already seen a big move, bullish move, so we need retracement, we need some higher lows before looking to get back into some buys. So I do think there could be some sells in the meantime with this impulse correction. I do think we can probably see some nice bearish momentum coming back in, and I was talking about 1.35 is a nice place to short from. Price is not quite there yet, it's kind of just below it. So yeah, it would be nice if price can creep a little bit higher and test that level. It could just be one of those times where price just misses the level and not quite test it. If it does, that'd be a nice place to look for some shorts, and yeah, some downside into this area. I do suspect a bigger move higher, so my advice for the shorts is probably not to be too aggressive with them. But yeah, I do think we could probably see some downside soon come for USD CAD, coming to some very, very important areas. Okay, so CTF JPY I'll take a look at next, and I'll go through oil as well. Sniper traders check USD Swiss weekly analysis. It's falling from the trends, going good. Okay, we'll take a look as well. Ali was up, high I've been in US 30, sell since 33300. Still holding, what's your opinion? Nice. Okay, we'll take a look as well. So I'll go through Swiss yen first, then we'll move on to oil, USD CHF, and US 30. So CHF JPY, there you are. So yeah, CHF JPY is still very, very bullish on this one. It's still flying to the upside. I need to see some correction for this. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And thank you to everyone who has liked and subscribed as well. Do really appreciate it. But yeah, CHF JPY, I'm looking for the retest of this structure here for continuation. Now, the market's been so bullish, just hasn't given me an opportunity to actually trade it. So I'm just kind of just sitting on the sidelines with this one, and have to be patient. But I'm looking for new highs to be created. You know, if you look at the higher time frame structure for Swiss yen, it's pretty much just a big bullish market. Since 1973, had a nice downtrend, and then since 2001, we've been on this consistent uptrend here. So I'm looking at the market maintaining this back to the highs there. You can see from a monthly perspective, been flying, weekly perspective, flying, daily perspective, flying. So everything is bullish all the way to the monthly, taking it down to literally like the 15-minute chart. So buys is literally your best friend right now. And I'm looking for a move down, because if you do see that move down, most likely we're just going to form a higher low to attack the highs again, just out of sheer probability. So yeah, I'm looking at Swiss yen buys, but it's approaching some resistance now, so I can't be looking for buys anymore. If you're looking to sell from here, fair enough, but I will be waiting for, at least some signs of reversal, aka some reversal patterns, some equal highs, some break of structure, some lower highs printing. Then yeah, some sells could be looking good. But right now, I have to favor buys, and sells are just a little bit too risky, or yeah, a little bit too risky. It's against a lot of momentum here. I'd rather just be looking for buys in this structure than trying to force some sells. So if you're looking for sells here, it's not a bad place to do it. It's obviously back at the resistance, but wait for some evidence before looking to short in terms of structure, not just candlesticks, because right now the market is still very, very bullish. Okay, so we'll take a look at USD CHF. Actually, not oil first, sorry. Hey, thank you so much, Joshua, for subscribing. So yeah, oil seen some upside, you're right, a little bit, but it would be nice to see a little bit more than that. So oil could do probably one or two things here. Either retest the low time frame level here, or maybe have a deeper pullback into the 4H level there. So if I go to like the hourly, maybe actually 30-minute time frame, you can see this is lower time frame support. You might be just seeing, impulse, correction, and then the next continuation from the retest of the low. Or price might want to have a deeper pullback into the 4H zone and then roll over. That's up to you. That's up to oil. But in terms of the direction, we've got this big gap here, which we haven't seen a gap this big for quite a while now. And we will be expecting price to fill the gap. 70% of the time, we normally do see gaps fill. So there's a good probability we'll push back down to 75.65. So yeah, if you can see a correction, you got a low time frame level to keep an eye out for. We might just see a shallow retracement in the continuation. We might see a test of the 4H. So keep an eye on both levels. But in terms of direction, we do favor more downside for oil. US USD CHF. Now we'll take a look at US 30 next. USD okay, Simbaz, we'll take a look. I bought USD CAD right near the bottom. I took it out because I didn't feel like it was I was in the right headspace. Okay. Yeah, again, that's a big part of trading, the headspace bit. Sometimes you can convince yourself that you're not in the right place and you miss out trades. I've done that many times where you feel a little bit off, and then you get a trade setup that fits your plan. So objectively, if you ignore your emotions and how you're feeling, it fits your plan perfectly. But because you're a little bit off, maybe a bit emotional, you're like, let me just stay away from the chart. But if you look at it objectively, it still fits your plan, and it does everything you're looking for the market to give you, and it wins as well. And yes, a big part of self-awareness is kind of detaching from that little bit off feeling, that right headspace feeling, and just trying to stay almost robotic. Not necessarily robotic, but when you're in your back testing, you don't really care if the next trade is going to be a win or a loss. Maybe you do a little bit, but it's not really that big of a deal, because you're going to go through a bunch of trades here. So whether this next particular trade is a win or a loss doesn't really matter. You're trying to see, after 100, 200, 500 trades, what's the outcome of the profit and loss. So when you're in the back test and you're just taking trade after trade after trade, so you kind of want to be replicating that to the best of your ability in the live markets. Even if you do feel a little bit off, sometimes you just want to kind of put that on pause a little bit and just focus on the trade. It's fine if if you're in a bad place mentally, then that's a different case scenario. But I've been in a situation where I'm a little bit hesitant. Maybe I've taken a couple of losses, or maybe I'm just maybe not the correct place. But I still take the trade anyway, because I can see objectively it fits my plan well. But yeah, sometimes it's the best decision not to trade, and obviously only you can know that. But there are some times where you just got to push through and take the trade anyway, because we're here to just crunch the numbers and play our edge really. Anyway, let me take a look at USD CHF on the weekly time frame. So I'll go through a few more pairs and then I'll wrap it up. But I will be live again later today, guys. So if I don't get around to your pair, I will hopefully get around to it on the stream with Trading Neck and A1 Trading. I will be live with them later at 2 p.m. UK time, so in about 2 hours from now, actually. So yeah, from a weekly perspective, USD CHF, it has been falling to the downside. It's a very corrective pair, but recently we've seen some nice momentum ever since this humongous drop. I remember when that happened. Price been a little bit corrective since then. Nice little retest of this structure, and it looks like we are heading back down to the lows here at 0.88. So yeah, we'll be expecting more downside for USDCHF and a push back down to the lows here. So shorts do look good for this one. Seen some consistent lower highs here as well. 1, 2, looks like a third one. Looks like a breakout consolidation. So a simple break and retest. Looks very, very good there for USDCHF. I would favor a lot more downside for this guy. So keep an eye out for USDCHF shorts. Momentum's picking up, still seeing good momentum in the chart. We've got this low here, which we're most likely going to hit as well. So we've got reasons for the market to get there as well. So yeah, shorts look really good for this one. Break to downside, retest, continuation. That could be our first target. And then these lows here is next. So yeah, I do like this one, USDCHF. Okay, so I'll take a look at US 30 and then we'll call it a day on USJPY and UAD. I'm still talking to Evan about with Norwegian gum. I got too tilted. Fair enough. If you're tilted there, don't want to be trading whilst tilted. Anyway, so US 30. So where is US 30? So 33,300. Let me mark it up. 33. Oh damn, that's all the way down here. Yeah, that's a difficult place to be in. I'm not gonna lie. Prices starting to see some rejection around here. You can see you've got some lower highs, so we could be forming a lower high. Potentially a move back down here. I mean, I always say to, because obviously, this trade hasn't gone according to plan. So I would say the best thing to do is just close the trade, because it could get a lot worse. It is rejecting some nice places here. So if I'm looking at the market objectively from a technical point, if you can start to see some structure, break to the downside, which looks like we almost got there. We start pushing down, I would favor some more downside and a break and retest. So something like this could present us a nice trade, and I could favor downside. But yeah, at the same time, you could also see a breakout. I mean, I do favor US 30 to see some downside, but not enough that I would say, hold your position down here. So yeah, that decision has to be made by you. All I can say is that obviously the trade hasn't gone according to plan, so the best bet is probably to close it. You've seen some downside here. You're not closing at the highs there, so you made some back there. But yeah, in terms of trading it, this looks like a good trade, but only if we can get that break of structure, and then I would favor a lot more downside. So it's still a bit early days right now, but yeah, it might be best just for stress and just anxiety. Close the trade, move on to the next setup. But yeah, I don't want to say hold on to it, then it gets worse. That's not going to be a good outcome. So USDJPY and UAD, and I'll finish it there. USDJPY. So yeah, USDJPY, I'm looking at buys for this one. I was talking about this one earlier in the stream. Consecutive high lows, as we can see, 1, 2, 3. Looking at fourth one around 133,700 for push back to 135,500. So that's why we focused on for USDJPY. Hopefully get some entries there soon. I like the structure, still seeing good momentum. Hopefully can get a pullback and get the continuation. Very, very simple analysis, same as last week pretty much. And looking for a repeat of that pattern. And UAD, I haven't really been looking at UAD to be fair. Seeing some downside for that one. I think price is at resistance. So yeah, price is at some resistance here as well. So we could see some really nice downside. We have had a bullish trend here. I think it could be coming to an end. We're starting to see some lower highs here as well. So yeah, if the market start breaking through, retest that support might not be the worst trade in the world. Start breaking through these high lows here as well. 1, 2, 3. I think a retest of 1.62727 is not bad. It's a bit more counter trend, but because we are rejecting those highs and failing to break through, I do favor the shorts here for UAD. So keep an eye on that opportunity there. I do think it looks good. Maybe could be a setup for next week. But yeah, guys, we're coming to the end of the stream. How's pound CAD looking? Not much development with that one just yet. We'll keep an eye on pound CAD, still looking to sell. So a fantastic area, but need that confirmation. If I do get into any other positions, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram. But thank you so much for coming onto the stream, guys. If you have enjoyed the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has already done that. Hit the bell as well so you don't miss on any uploads in the future. I will be live again later with Trader Nick and A1 Trading, so I'll leave the link to that stream in the Telegram, so make sure you are part of that. Link in the description down below. If you are looking for a broker, I do have my link to IC Markets at the top of the screen, so if you are looking to check out a new broker, feel free to check them out if you want to. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Thank you so much to my moderators as well. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for all the kind messages you guys have been leaving recently. Do really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, have a fantastic day, and I hope I do see you later on Trading Next Stream.